Hello everyone, and I just thought, why not, and I'm gonna do a bit of a movie review, because why not? Anyways, well, I've decided to do a franchise, and if you can tell by these glasses, I am actually doing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Or, depending where you are, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. But here, it's Philosopher's, so... Anyways. Now, let's start this movie review. Mischief managed! Actually, be more Expelliarmus! Anyway, let's start. Alright, now, let's do the non-spoiler stuff. Because, you know, yeah. Just in case if no one has seen it and they were just like, let's see what this movie's about. And yeah, hey, I don't blame you. But later in this other half will be the spoilers, but don't worry, I'll let you know when that happens. Anyways, let's do the non-spoiler stuff. Alright, well, let's just start what the movie's about. It's just literally about a boy named Harry Potter. And yeah, he finds out that he is a wizard, an 11-year-old wizard, might I add, and yeah, he gets whisked away to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and yeah, they find some big mystery that's going around, and that affects him and affects the whole wizarding world. So if that doesn't get you interested, then well, hey. Anyways, I really think this movie is a really magical movie. It's all honestly like really as big as like a lot of Disney movies, because you know when you watch a Disney movie you're like, wow, that's really beautiful and sweet and, as I said before, magical, you know, and it kind of has that nice feel goodness about it. Whereas Harry Potter is definitely magical, but you're also at the same time at the edge of your seat, so it's great. Anyways, but you know, it's, you know, when you watch it, it's like, you know, you're kind of invested in the characters, which is honestly a really good thing, because let's face it, if you are not invested in your character, then you'd be like, I don't care if this boy is just like literally being choked to death or something like that, you know, I don't care about that, you know, screw that character. That's not good. Like, that's one thing you need to have in your movie or story or anything like that. You have to have characters that you care about, because if something happens to them, you don't be like, I don't care about them. You want to, you know, actually care for the characters, and in this one you do, which is great. And definitely happy about that. And yeah, just the film, and you know, you're literally invested in the story. You're like, ooh, you know, what's going on there? Ooh, this evil villain is very spooky, you know, and yeah, and this movie is just the perfect way to start this franchise. Sure, as we go deeper into these franchise, it's, yeah, definitely a different tone. It's almost like a whole different movie as the lay movies go, but this one just feels, it almost kind of feels like a family movie, you know. Sure, besides some horror elements that can maybe freak out your children, but you know, it is definitely felt like a family movie. You know, you watch it and you enjoy it. Obviously, the later movies are a bit more darker and maybe not family friendly, but you know, this one just felt very, I don't know, nice. And you got great characters and a great villain, you know, which I may notice to some people, this one is actually a hidden villain. You don't really know who the villain is. If you know about the whole story of Harry Potter, you know that the villain is Lord Voldemort, but in this movie, you only see maybe some flashbacks or hear about it, but this one is more, you know, a different villain, like a hidden. It's like, oh, interesting. Sure, you know, Voldemort is evolved. I won't go any further than that, but you know, yeah, this villain doesn't really get talked a lot in this franchise. You know, this person is like really, really good, and he kind of gives you the chills. It's good. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like there's not much I can say other than that without going into spoilers, but honestly, this movie, it's great. You know, a great way to start this franchise, and it might not be my favourite, but this movie is awesome. Alright, now let's get to the spoilers. Okay, let's get to the spoilers. So, spoiler warning if you have not seen this movie whatsoever. And, I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, then, well, just stop it and then watch it, because it's great. And, yeah. Anyways, unless you don't really care about spoilers, and you just like, meh, I don't care, then, well, you can continue if you really wanted to. But if you don't want any spoilers, stop it right now, because, yeah. From now on, we'll be talking about spoilers, so heed the warning, and, alright. Okay, I'm guessing from now on, whoever is sitting on this video, you have either seen it or just don't care about spoilers. So, let's get to the spoilers. Spoilers! Alright. Spoilers. Now, well, as I mentioned in the spoiler-free one about the hidden villain, and that's Professor Quirrell, the studying Pope Professor Quirrell. Yeah, he is actually a really good villain. I really like Professor Quirrell, and as I said previously, he doesn't get that much talk, I don't think. And I really believe he is honestly one of the best versions of Voldemort, because throughout the entirety of this film series, you have different versions of Voldemort, like through different stages of life. But this Voldemort is just like, it kind of gives you the chills, and he's kind of scary. It's like, you see what I become, see what I must do to survive. It's like, ugh. It's great. But the fact that he's literally on Professor Quirrell's head, it's gross, but awesome at the same time. Let's get to some moments that I kind of have problems with. Number one, these teachers, the Hogwarts teachers, they don't care about their students. They don't care about their safety. They couldn't care less. Like, alright, for example, when Neville was on his broom and he's like about to fly off, and after their, you know, during their their broom lesson, he's flying and like he's starting to go on the ground, and what does Madam Hooch do? Mr. Longbottom, Mr. Longbottom! She doesn't grab the broom and put him down. She could have done that. She could have done that. Like, there was enough time for her to grab the broom and put it down. But she didn't do it. And another thing, when Neville is on that high point and they're just about to fall and, you know, break his arm, what does she do? Nothing! And if you've seen the other movies, in Prison of Azkaban, the third film, what does Dumbledore do to stop Harry from falling down and dying? Arresto momentum! But she didn't do that. From what I've been hearing from many people, is that if it's not in the other previous movies, it doesn't exist until later. But it does exist. It does. Even if it's in a previous, in like a future movie. During this whole world, the spell Arresto Momentum is legit. Madam Hooch probably got fired after this movie because she doesn't appear after any of these movies. And from memory, I don't think she was even in the books after this one. So, yeah, obviously she got fired because she's a terrible teacher. A terrible teacher. Okay, and then another thing. Every year, Dumbledore's just like, you can't do this, you can't do that, otherwise you will suffer pain and death. I mean, he doesn't do it every year, but it's kind of fair, you could say. You know there's obviously something danger lurking in Hogwarts, and somehow it just doesn't feel right. It's just like, we have this thing in the castle, but don't go into that room, otherwise you'll die. What the hell? Like, I get it. Once Harry, Ron, and Hermione just go in that room, and then they find Filch's cat, and just, it's Filch's cat! And then they run, and Filch is not that far off them. But couldn't they, I don't know, have extra security on that door? I mean, it's literally magical. They could have, like, done, like, a bunch of spells, like, strong spells that Hermione herself can't do. Like, they can't. But, no. They did not. You know, they leave. They don't lock that door. But they lock the door that Fluffy is in. But they could have locked the other door so that the other those three people, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, just don't go in. But no, they don't. Because they don't care about children's safety. Seriously, how is Hogwarts still running? How? Just how? Anyways, sorry. If you guys, everyone who likes Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. It's great, but you can't realise there are some really stupid things in the film series. I'll talk more about the film series. I might now mention about the book, but you can't realise they're a bunch of idiots. So another thing I would like to just mention is when they're playing Quidditch. Like, that's awesome. And I've got to hand it to them. The whole scene just, it almost felt like out of the book. I really have to hand it to them. Like, majority of those players, like, you know, obviously the ones that, the main characters that you might see in later movies are real. Like Harry, Oliver Wood, Fred and George. Point is, a lot of the players are literally CGI! CGI! Can you believe it? With the CGI characters, they only did it because they didn't have enough people, and so they kind of just filled up the whole Quidditch team, just CGI characters. So if team member they're not really focused on that character, then yeah, there's probably CGI. I mean, there's one moment where you can kind of tell the CGI, but it's only if you really look into it, you know, like, ooh, I see it, you know. But if you're not, which, like me, when I first watched it, I could not even tell that there was CG. Like, when I found out that most of them were CGI characters, I was like, nah, yeah, really? But seriously, it's that good. Look, as I said, if you really pay close attention to the team members, then yes, you can kind of tell that they are CG. But if you're not, then it's honestly just, whoa, damn. But it's good. I really like it, and it's perfect. I can't believe I forgot to mention this in my non-spoiler one, but I'll just say here, John Williams' score, it's perfect. Like, come on, when you hear the Harry Potter theme, you just know it's the Harry Potter theme. It's that good. You know, it's John Williams is literally one of the best film composers ever. That and like Hans Zimmer, but you know, they are literally awesome. Love the music. Now, with Ron, when he was on that night for the wizard's chest at the end of the movie, he was going to sacrifice himself. I mean, hey, fair enough. You know, so they can finish the game and so Harry can go. And I mean, I get it. Yeah, he's just like, as Ron said, it is you that has to go through. You know, not me, not Hermione, you. And yeah, fair enough. It's not called Ron Weasley and the Philosopher's Stone. It is literally Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So obviously he has to continue by himself. But what I don't understand is that he's on the knight. He's just like, as I said, he was going to sacrifice himself. He could have gone off the horse, the knight, whatever. He could have gotten off it. Hey, he didn't even need to be on there. He could have been right next to her and say, hey, knight to A3 or something like that. You know, he could have done that. But no, he had to play hero and just be on there. And he not to be on there. He did not need to be on the horse. He did not need to be on there. Really. Like, the only reason why he was there is just so he can't continue and Hermione could stay with him. And so Harry can continue. You know, another thing I really liked is, like, the flashback of Voldemort when he's, like, gonna kill Harry's parents. Like, it still gives me chills. Like, I mean, when I first watched it, I was like, ah. It's scary, sure, but I like how they did it. Like, it was like, they made it sure it could still be PG, but you watch it and you're like, wow, this is some dark stuff. But it's great. And, you know, I think the way they did it, it's scary, but it's not overly scary. So kids can still watch it. Sure, they might be like, ah, but you know, still good. Let's talk about Draco Malfoy. I don't know if it's Tom Felton, because recently he seems to be like a really cool guy, but or maybe it's just the way he play. It could be just the way he plays him. I can't help but love Draco. He's a great character. He's got some great lines. The fact that Draco Malfoy is like only in it for like just over a half an hour for the entirety of the franchise, that's some good stuff right there. Like the fact that he made a mark on the franchise even though he was in like less than an hour. It's great. Draco Malfoy, sure, he can be a bit of a bully and a douche, but he's a great character. Love Draco. Watching the scene where Harry, Ron, and Hermione just meet on the train. I mean, that's great. Great scene. But seeing Scabbers on Ron's crotch. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, another thing. The practical effects in this movie is awesome. Me being a love of horror, like, and I love the practical effects in horror, right? It's great. Just seeing practical effects used in this movie, you're like, how in the hell did they do that? And that's why I love the practical effects, because it looks way more realistic than CGI. I mean, if CGI is used properly, it would look great, but if it's not, then, well, it's not great. But the practical effects that's something else. When Harry goes to Ollivander's whole scene, there's something about that just feels like cinematic, especially when it picks up different ones and Ollivander's like, no, definitely not. I love it. And then when he picks up the one, he was like, and it's just like the whole lights come on, and it's just like, it's like and the one chooses the wizard, and then Ollivander's just like, yikes, very curious. I love it. John Cleese, Monty Python, in Harry Potter, but he's really good as Nearly Headless Nick. He's great, and he's funny, and you know, perfect for the role. Sadly, it was only in for the first 2 films, but great performance. Okay, just to wrap this whole thing up, I just want to mention about, you know, the troll. The troll still holds up. The whole scene with the troll, it's like, whoa, that looks great, you know, and I really like it. It really does hold up, and just a lot of the effects in this movie still holds up today. I mean, maybe some might be like, give or take, you know, it's okay, but a lot of them they still hold up. And a lot of movies that come out recently, it's great. Just to say one more thing before I end this review. Richard Harris as Dumbledore. He's honestly probably the best iteration of Dumbledore I've ever seen. I mean, Michael Gambon is still good, and even, you know, Jude Law in the Fantastic Beasts series, those 2 Dumbledores are really good. They did, you know, they owned their own thing, and I really like that. But Richard Harris, it's something so soothing about his Dumbledore, and that's what it was like in the book. But though, Richard Harris is honestly perfect for the role, and it's really sad that he passed before he could even complete the franchise. But to me, I feel like he is still definitely the best Dumbledore. And I mean, another thing I can't help but, you know, say is, Hagrid. Robbie Coltrane. He was great as Hagrid, and it's a real shame they recently passed away, but even so many actors and actresses that were in the entirety of Harry Potter franchises. Like, a lot of them passed, and some of them didn't even get to finish the franchise, and it's sad. But all I can say is just rest in peace, and tune in next time for my next review, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.